Guys, it finally happened. Blizzard has finally posted some more balance changes, and as always, I am gonna make another video talking about the changes, but the difference this time is that we're finally getting buffs. And for those of you who are out of the loop, it got to the point where everyone, everywhere, and their mothers were just making fun of Fury all the time. Like, everyone was aware that we just kept getting nerfs after nerf after nerf after nerf after nerf, and nobody understood why. Look at this. So, the buffs that we're getting are these. Execute damage increased by 10% for all specs. Massive for arms. For Fury, it's irrelevant, but it's massive for arms. And Prot also actually does a lot of damage with Execute too when you spec into it. But anyway, moving on to arms here. Colossus, single target damage increased by 15%. Reap the Storm damage increased by 25%. Slayer Strike damage increased by 15%. I love these buffs because actually let's move on. Let's move on. I'll tell you about them in a bit. Mortal Strike damage increased by 15%, Overpower 15%, Dreadnought 15%, Cleave 20%. These are great, especially for arms who has just been getting stray nerf after stray nerf after stray nerf because they're trying to nerf Fury. And Reap the Storm, Slayer Strike, all these things, they buff our damage, sustained damage, without increasing our burst too much. And having too much burst is what got us nerfed in the first place. So I feel like by getting these buffs, these targeted buffs, we should have a lot more sort of healthy damage profile. These are massive buffs for arms, by the way. Really big buffs, and Mortal Strike definitely needed some love because Mortal Strike just wasn't even really worth pressing a lot of the time unless you had like 4 or 6 stack buffs on Mortal Strike, because arms is just full of modifiers. Anyway, moving on to Fury. Fury also gets the Reap the Storm and Slayer Strike damage increase. Mountain Thane Lightning Strike damage increased by 30%, also a big deal. Bloodthirst and Bloodbath damage increased by 20%. Both of them. Notice they didn't buff Raging Blow here, which is a good thing, because Raging Blow compared to all your other fillers is probably too strong. So buffing Bloodthirst to bring Bloodthirst damage, no, to bring Bloodthirst up closer to Raging Blow is a good thing. And I think Bloodthirst should be a clear winner in AoE now, as it should be. Rampage damage increased by 10%. I've been asking for a Rampage buff for a while, and 10%, I'll take it. I'll take it. Colossus also, well, they got a straight buff because of arms, of all things. Yeah, Demolish damage increased for Prot as well. So, the numbers, what do they mean? Archie has posted them. And keep in mind that these, I don't know what builds that he was simming with when he was doing these numbers. He was literally just copying and pasting these buffs onto current sims. And he found that Arms Colossus gains 8.6 on single target, 8.2 multi-target. Arms Slayer gains 9% single target, 9.5% multi-target. By far the biggest buff out of the 4 specs. Fury Thane gains 8.6% single target, 4.7% multi-target. Fury Slayer gains 6.7% single and 6.5% multi-target. So, comparatively speaking, Arms is best on single targets. Fury is second best, and then Arms Colossus, and then Fury Thane. And kind of funny, multi-target is completely flipped. As Thanos said, perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Anyway, these are pretty big percentages. In a game like WoW, an 8% swing, even if you're at the bottom, is quite considerable. So even though This sim was done by the biggest warrior brain there is out there. Which doesn't say much, but...
Sounds good.
Yeah, the biggest warrior brain. Okay. There's no way someone added an extra 0 somewhere. So even though we are, you know, quite low. Let me just find this chart. Hold up, 1 second. Yeah, so here's the chart. So I don't know how accurate this chart is. This is off a website called mythicstats.com, and apparently they just use the logged runs from Warcraft logs to figure out what people's average damage is in the overalls. And keep in mind that the Warcraft logs overall damages are different to the ones that you'll find on details. So everything should be accurate here. And, well, we weren't doing so hot, right? But an 8% swing here would put us somewhere pretty damn decent. And that's all I ask to be. I just want my spec to feel decent, and I don't want to feel like I'm pulling my team back. So this is great. Really great changes. And I'm happy that they are trying to buff our consistent damage, which I've been asking for a while, without buffing our, well, without having it affect our burst too much. And this is what that's going to achieve. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I'm just happy. I can finally, maybe, hopefully, finally stop making videos crying about nerfs all the time. Finally. I mean, this could be a representation of what's going to happen, but yeah, it's great. Anyway, also, I should mention that if I just added these buffs to my overall here, we worked out that I would have done about 3.2 billion damage, which means I'm still behind my team, you know, my 2 team members. But like I say, I don't ask to be overpowered. I just want to be a little bit less behind and be able to sort of keep up. That's all. So, I don't know. That's it. That's it for this video. If we get any more changes, of course I'll post about them. But finally, we got good news. I'll see you next time. Better nerf Fury.